Have you ever wondered why some people seem to control every room they enter, while others spend their entire lives being controlled? Why do the smartest people often stay silent, while the loudest people rarely hold real power? Since childhood, you've been taught to be kind, to obey the rules, to work hard, and to believe that honesty alone will lead you to success. But look around. Is that really how the world works? Or have you been taught only half the truth? Today, we're opening a door that most people never dare to open. A door that doesn't teach you how to control others. It teaches you how to stop being controlled. This is the difference between living like a pawn and thinking like a strategist. Chapter 1. The world rewards awareness, not innocence. From the day you were born, you were taught to believe that people are naturally good, that if you treat everyone with honesty, the world will eventually reward you. It's a comforting idea, but comfort and reality are rarely the same thing. The real world doesn't always reward the kindest person. It often rewards the person who understands people the best. Most people don't lose because they are weak. They lose because they assume everyone thinks the way they do. They expect honesty from dishonest people, loyalty from selfish people, and fairness from a world that has never promised to be fair. That is where manipulation begins, not with intelligence, but with innocence. The first step toward dark intelligence is not becoming cruel. Chapter 2. Become an observer, not a reactor. There is one habit that quietly destroys more opportunities than failure ever could. Reaction. Most people spend their entire lives reacting. Someone criticizes them, they react. Someone ignores them, they react. Someone insults them, they react. And every reaction hands a piece of their power to someone else. Think about the last time someone made you angry. Did you choose that emotion, or did they choose it for you? The moment another person can control your emotions, they control your decisions. And the moment they control your decisions, they control your future. This is why truly dangerous minds rarely react immediately. They pause, they observe, they collect information. Because every emotional outburst reveals something. When someone attacks you without a reason, they're often fighting an invisible battle inside themselves. When someone constantly tries to prove they're smarter than everyone else, they're usually hiding deep insecurity. When someone cannot celebrate another person's success, it's rarely about that person. It's about the life they secretly wish they had. People reveal themselves every single day, not through their words, but through their reactions. That's why strategic people ask a different question. Instead of asking, why did they say that? They ask, why did they need to say that? That single question changes everything, because behavior always has a motive. Sometimes it's fear, sometimes it's jealousy, sometimes it's insecurity, sometimes it's the desperate need to feel important. The average person hears an insult. The observer studies the person delivering it. The average person defends themselves. The observer collects another piece of the puzzle. Imagine walking into a room where everyone is talking. Most people immediately start thinking, how do I sound interesting? But strategic people think differently. Who is trying too hard? Who is pretending to be confident? Who is leading the conversation? And who is quietly influencing everyone without speaking much? Power is rarely loud. Real influence doesn't need attention. The strongest person in the room is often the one speaking the least, because silence creates space for observation, and observation creates understanding. From today, challenge yourself to speak less, listen more, watch more, judge less, notice more, because every room is full of information. Most people simply aren't paying attention. And once you train yourself to observe instead of react, you'll begin seeing things that everyone else completely misses. Chapter 3. Master your emotions before someone else does. The greatest weakness isn't anger. It isn't fear. It isn't even failure. The greatest weakness is emotional dependence. The moment your peace depends on someone else's words, you've already lost. Think about how easily people can influence your mood. One compliment, and suddenly your confidence rises. One insult, and your entire day is ruined. One text message can make you happy. Another can make you anxious. Without realizing it, you've handed the remote control of your mind to someone else. Dark intelligence begins with taking that remote back. This doesn't mean becoming cold. It doesn't mean becoming heartless. It means becoming emotionally disciplined. There is a difference. A surgeon doesn't panic while performing a life-saving operation, not because he doesn't care, but because emotions cannot guide his hands. Life works the same way. The people who make the best decisions are rarely the people feeling the strongest emotions. They're the people who remain calm while everyone else loses control. Ask yourself something. Have you ever sent a message you later regretted? Have you ever made a decision while angry, only to wish you could take it back? Almost everyone has, because emotions are temporary, but the consequences of emotional decisions can last for years. That's why strategic people delay their reactions. When they're angry, they wait. When they're excited, they wait. When they're afraid, they wait. Because they understand something most people never learn. Time weakens emotion, but it strengthens clarity. The strongest response is often no response at all. Silence confuses people, especially those expecting a reaction. When someone tries to provoke you and you remain calm, they begin questioning themselves, not you. Your silence becomes more powerful than any argument. Your composure becomes your greatest weapon. Remember this: anyone can stay calm when life is easy. Real strength appears when everything around you is falling apart, and you still refuse to lose control. Because every battle is won twice, first inside your mind, then in the outside world. Master the first battle, and the second becomes much easier. Chapter 4. The Art of Becoming Impossible to Manipulate. There is a reason why some people seem impossible to control. Not because they're stronger, not because they're more intelligent, but because they understand one simple truth. The person who needs the least controls the most. Think about every time you've been manipulated. It almost always started with a need. The need to be liked, the need to be accepted, the need to be understood, or the need to prove yourself. The moment someone discovers what you desperately need, they discover where to pull the strings. That's why truly strategic people never make their needs obvious. They don't chase approval, they don't beg for attention, and they never build their identity around another person's opinion. Instead, they build something far more valuable: self-respect. Because confidence built on compliments disappears the moment criticism arrives. But confidence built on discipline cannot be taken away. Look at the people who always seem calm under pressure. It's not because life is easier for them. It's because they stopped expecting the world to be fair. They stopped expecting everyone to understand them. And they stopped trying to convince people who had already made up their minds. One of the biggest mistakes ordinary people make is explaining themselves too much. They believe that if they say enough, people will finally understand. But reality doesn't work that way. People don't always hear what you say. They hear what they already believe. Sometimes, silence protects your peace better than the perfect explanation ever could. Remember this: not every accusation deserves a defense. Not every insult deserves an answer. And not every battle deserves your energy. Energy is one of your most valuable resources. Spend it wisely. Because every minute spent arguing with someone committed to misunderstanding you is a minute stolen from building the life you actually want. The strongest people understand something that most never do. Winning every argument doesn't make you powerful. Choosing which arguments deserve your attention does. Imagine a mountain standing through storms. The wind screams, the rain falls, lightning strikes, yet the mountain never argues with the weather. It simply remains where it is. Become like that mountain. Let people underestimate you. Let them misunderstand you. Let them doubt you. Because while they're busy judging you, you'll be busy becoming someone they never expected. And by the time they finally understand who you are, you'll already be far beyond their reach. Chapter 5. The Final Shift. Rule yourself or be ruled forever. Everything we've talked about until now, observation, emotional control, silence, discipline, none of it matters unless it changes one thing: the person you become. Because the greatest illusion in life is believing your biggest enemy lives somewhere outside of you. It doesn't. The hardest battle has always been inside your own mind: your fears, your excuses, your need for approval, your addiction to comfort. These invisible chains have destroyed more dreams than poverty ever has. Most people wake up every morning, not to build the life they want, but to repeat the life they've become used to. They call it stability, but often, it's simply fear wearing a comfortable mask. Ask yourself honestly, if nobody judged you, if nobody criticized you, if failure wasn't possible, what kind of person would you become? That answer is the person you've been afraid to become all along. Dark intelligence isn't about controlling other people. It's about reaching the point where nobody can control you, where compliments don't inflate your ego, where criticism doesn't destroy your confidence, where success doesn't make you arrogant, and failure doesn't make you quit. Because real power is emotional independence. It's waking up every morning, knowing exactly who you are, without needing the world to remind you. History remembers people who refused to think like everyone else, not because they were born different, but because they had the courage to become different. The moment you stop asking, "What do people think about me?" and start asking, "Am I becoming the person I respect?" your entire life begins to change. From that day forward, you stop chasing attention, you stop chasing validation, you stop chasing acceptance, and you begin chasing mastery. Mastery of your thoughts, mastery of your emotions, mastery of your habits, because the person who masters themselves can never truly be defeated. People may take your money, they may take your position, they may even take your reputation, but they can never take the discipline that built those things in the first place. And that's the difference between temporary success and lasting power. So as this video comes to an end, don't ask yourself whether the world is fair. It never has been. Instead, ask yourself a far more powerful question. Will I continue living like a pawn, or will I finally start thinking like a strategist? Because in every game of power, the people who win are rarely the loudest. They're the ones who understand themselves better than anyone else. If this video changed the way you think, subscribe to the channel, because this isn't just motivation, it's training for the mind. And remember, the most dangerous person in any room isn't the one who speaks the loudest. It's the one who understands everyone, while revealing almost nothing about themselves.